In this instance, I get that he's half out of it after going through that situation, but wouldn't you at least let the horse know that you'd like him to speed up a little? Never ceases to amaze me how they can batter in the skull of a walker and yet are never hit by splashback from the blood.
We can go now.
Really? The one time I choose to mention it? Fine.
Hey, hope I'm not.
No, come on.
You're not what? Interrupting a cup of coffee?
What's going on?
Maggie's here.
Aunt Maggie.
One of the guys at the gate told me she just came in.
What?
You know, considering the last time the subject was raised, Michonne was the one asking for Maggie to visit, and before that, Rick has also asked her to. Her shock is a bit too much of one of urgency, isn't it? Like she's seemingly really jumping to conclusions since she has no idea about her discussions with Daryl about it, she doesn't know about Daryl stopping Rick from getting back there, she's only hearing that Maggie has turned up, and the first thing she does is run off to Negan to stop a murder!
You think Glenn would want this? For you to go through me to get to him?
I don't know what he'd want. I don't know, because I never got to say goodbye.
Yeah, that's true, but saying goodbye doesn't equal a person spilling their guts about what they'd like you to do in order to achieve a potential revenge, does it? Also though, we all knew Glenn. He was a cool-ass dude. Clearly he would not be okay with her killing Michonne in order to get to Negan. That's you just being a silly little biscuit. You know, it occurs to me that she didn't really think it out all that well, because if she enters that cell, even with a hungry and somewhat depleted Negan, even with a crowbar in hand, my money is all the way on Negan to take it from her and bash her head in. Not a wonderful plan.
Get on your knees.
Such a dumb plan. What if he just says no? Why would he comply with that when he's safely inside a cell?
I remember how much I broke you breaking open your husband's head like I did.
Glenn. His name was Glenn. What you did to my husband.
What he did to Glenn?
Bullshit.
They're all dead.
Yeah. I know.
Don't get me wrong, this is a good final episode for Rick as a character, but since this is everything wrong with, I'd be very remiss if I didn't point out the rather glaring green screen. In the previous scene, he was on this stretch of road heading for the bridge, and they were hot on his heels, and yet he was able to fall down, pass out for any length of time, and still have this much distance on them. What, did he friggin' sprint to the bridge?
I found him.
Now how the heck did Rick end up here? Did the explosion that clearly destroyed the centre of the bridge, and not where he was stood on it, manage to suck him towards it and into the water?
You got names?
Magnus.
This tiny little girl handling that big old cannon expertly and not missing a single headshot from inside the damn forest.
Judith. Judith Grimes.
Well, not gonna lie, that was beyond cringe.
Judith! Jude!
Jude!
I'm here!
As opposed to yelling that out when you're clearly within shouting distance, because staying silent till the last minute is what the kids consider to be cool nowadays.
They need food and water and medicine.
How do you know they need medicine? One of them is slightly being propped up after hitting her head, but she doesn't need medicine, she needs a bandage. God, this girl is gonna annoy me, I can already tell.
Is there any part of this place that's not falling apart?
Our loyalty to you, my queen.
If I haven't after all these years, it's probably not going to happen.
Ooh, very convenient pipe bursting. I don't mean mean to sound cruel, that's not my intention, but I don't understand how it's been the end of the world for so many years and yet still you got fat people. How are you managing to eat so many excess calories and not move around enough to stay fat?
No disrespect, but maybe their fate is something we should decide together.
It'll be dark soon. First thing tomorrow, we can bring them before the council for a vote.
So wait, you've got rules that categorically state that you can't bring in any new people, but you've also got a council who you then ask if you can break the rules sometimes? Sounds very counterproductive.
She's just being modest. She exposed a bunch of sleazeball politicians and put them behind bars.
Funny how she's still got that amount of gusto in her for something someone else did like 80 years ago?
She says she's my guardian angel.
That's a really stupid way to sell yourself to these people who clearly have food, shelter, and safety. I'm not going to say what I'm good at, I'm going to say I'm this random woman's guardian angel, like that actually means something to anyone.
But really, it's the other way around.
Then the other girl follows it up by saying the same thing about her.
Recognizes our fellow council person and head of security.
What was with that look? She gives him a look first of like, ugh, formalities, and then she looks at them like they're all pieces of shizzle, you feel me? I don't get that.
You get that at a truck stop?
Okay, I'll bite. How did she know that was there? Because that's an amazing guess based on literally zero evidence.
Screw you.
Way to win them over instead of just explaining.
All clean? You sure about that?
Indeed.
I remember.
So Michonne clearly knew that she had a knife. She said as much when she questioned if the dude who searched her had properly searched her, and yet she still let her keep the knife till now. What the hell is going on? You wouldn't do that. Oh, I'll assume she'll not use the knife overnight on any of our people, and let her keep it till tomorrow's meeting for effect.
I second the motion.
Good thing these votes aren't official, otherwise officially speaking should be listed as absent and her vote wouldn't count. Even more so because she never actually stated her position. She made it pretty clear, but she never actually said she didn't want them there. She also seconded his motion to allow for the vote to let them stay, and then left before giving her own vote. Very confusing series of events.
I think they're good people.
Yeah, I mean, prison doesn't mean shit without knowing the whole story, and Michonne knows it.
Yeah, she also did keep a weapon on her though, didn't she?
But they're here. They're here until the one in the infirmary is back on her feet. So there's still time for her to change her mind.
Wait, I thought it was all about the important vote and not whether or not she changed her mind. It's meant to be a democracy, isn't it? So what, is her vote the one tying up the whole thing? Making it not tip one way or the other, or what? You gotta at least tell us that.
You sure?
What?
Whoa!
Wait, Henry!
Also though, in this world, how are you going to let your wife and adopted son travel all that way out there on their own? Especially when he's still young and she's now really old. Makes no sense at all. Are the areas around there that safe now? Because clearly not. Also though, the idea that you can raise a kid during the end of the world and not expressly impress upon that kid the dangers of the world is ridiculous. One of the main rules would naturally be that you do not just run off towards any person crying for help, you stick together and stuff. But no, they're seemingly out there teaching math.
But she could be back on her feet by tomorrow.
But should she be?
That's not for me to say.
I get what he's saying, but that is actually for him to say, given that he's the doctor there. Like, he could say, yeah, she could be up and about, but she'll keel over and die in a day or two, which makes the whole treatment of her entirely pointless. But he's saying it's not his call to let them stay, which it's not, but clearly they're letting them stay till she is healed, which is up to what he says, so it makes no sense.
Henry, don't!
Also though, slowest reactions of all time. This dude is holding them up for ransom essentially, and the kid has time to flick up and grab his stick and attack him before the dude even moves an inch.
Henry, don't!
Also though, you can clearly see that the guy had fallen to the ground in front of him, and yet he is able to quite clearly, within eyesight, get up and then get behind the kid in order to jump him. Lastly, Carol just stands there and does absolutely nothing. Doesn't warn him, doesn't try to help, and she is the only one that's in an even better position to see what this guy right in front of her is about to do.
I don't get it. You didn't even try. There's no point.
She doesn't just point out to him that they were massively outnumbered. Now you might be thinking that this cancels out sin number 107, but it doesn't, because whilst outnumbered, he had chosen to attack and done so successfully. Now if she's to be believed that she didn't do anything through fear of losing him, then that's a silly thing to do in that situation, that being not attacking after he regained his weapon, because they may have just killed him for attacking them.
If Bernie could see this place, see what life we could live.
How does this make any sense for her character? She's going on and on about how she wants to stay really badly. She wants her injured friend to experience this place. She doesn't want to risk going back outside. Yet she kept a knife on her and another bladed weapon around her neck. How does that add up? She's desperate to stay there in safety, yet kept 2 knives on her and assassinated one of the main leaders on multiple occasions.
You know he wanted us to have it, right?
We don't have a choice.
We fight.
I'm sorry? Is she advocating that the 3 women, one of whom is death, and the overweight dude try and overthrow the place that has dozens of armed guards using a necklace knife? This deaf girl doesn't even want to try and convince Michonne to let them stay. Like, that's her preferred option. She doesn't even want to try and speak to her. This is so beyond stupid and beyond what people would ever actually do in this situation. It physically hurts me.
That stuff belonged to people I knew.
Am I supposed to believe that she came there without anything to light that fuel and then was hoping to find the match he was carrying around in his mouth? Or did she think it would be cool to risk her entire plan by maybe waking him up to look cool and burn them all with his match? Also though, not a single one of the 6 or more people inside that building wake up while they literally have a conversation before she burns them. Also, not one of them makes it out of the building. So did she cover each of them in oil in order to get them all? And again, none of them woke up from any of that action. I really can't look past none of them even trying to get out of the building, get away from the fire like you naturally would, as seemingly all of them continue laying there, screaming whilst on fire, accepting their fate randomly. Oh, this makes me so angry. She wants to stay, really badly wants to stay, and she thinks, oh, I know the ideal plan. I'll go and murder the leader. That'll help.
Cool? No, it's not cool. I want my damn knives.
I really do find it physically painful, like my head is in a vice. She gave her the knife the previous night, quite happily handed it over, and now, instead of being kicked out, they're being taken somewhere safe, and very audibly, she's now bitching about wanting her knives back. I absolutely cannot believe the writing on her as a character. Probably one of the worst I've ever seen in this show, to be honest. I'm gonna cut it right before she hits the walker with the rock, but goddamn, if you want to pretend that it's a real rock and not styrofoam, you might want to act like it weighs less than a bag filled with feathers.
We're taking what's ours.
No. I'm not letting my men take 5 armed strangers into...
Once again, this girl knows that she isn't getting her weapons back. That's been established, but for some bizarre reason, she was utterly convinced that upon getting to their old hideout and collecting their old weapons, that randomly, Michonne would be all like, oh yeah, these weapons you can bring with you, just not that little necklace life and stuff, because that'd be deadly. I don't get it! The idea that this dude could gain this much height without an extremely obvious run and jump in this empty clearing.
Oh, sorry.
As a teacher, he gets angry when he gets slightly hurt while sparring, and so takes the opportunity to really give the guy a good few solid kicks, like a good teacher would.
Your dog always do that?
Oh, he's got his reasons.
Not what he asked in regard to him dropping a walker foot there, but okay.
I can't.
I said, drop it.
You don't understand.
As opposed to saying, it's a violin, not a weapon, or maybe just putting it down.
following me?
Everyone just endlessly sneaking up on people. Literally no one uses their voices. I know that's the only way you can get anything close to a scare when the walkers are as slow as they are, but Jesus.
What are you doing out here?
He asks this like he knows Daryl's routine, or that it's somehow abnormal for him to be out at night at his own camp where he stays alone.
Well, she knows where I'm at. She knows how to find me.
She shouldn't have to.
Even though just a couple of scenes prior to this, the kid was annoyed at Carol wanting to set up Daryl coming to Hilltop with the lad to kind of watch over him, and now he's acting like it's what he's been wanting all of this time as well. Although the argument is kind of flawed, since she's already stated she'll be going back to the kingdom, and he's arguing for Daryl to go to Hilltop, so it's not like they'll be reunited or anything. There's a girl using a friggin' slingshot. Now I've seen it all.
I kept my promise to Judith.
No, you didn't. You allegedly promised to bring them to Hilltop. You're not doing that, you little liar.
Let them know Michonne and the others are headed to Hilltop. Tell them we're safe.
Once that very simple message has been relayed, why would you need them to travel all the way to Alexandria for that? They gotta do like a whole day's ride to turn up and give that information when 3 of theirs are already headed to Hilltop anyway? Are you planning an entire convoy with which to pick up one woman?
Riders are coming! 6. No.
Ah yes, needlessly keeping everyone in suspense for the sake of it. Also though, mildly strange that they never reacted this way to Daryl and Carol turning up just beforehand. You'd think the people on patrol would know the leader of their biggest ally in the nearby camp, given that she's quite distinctive looking.
We're here for Rosita.
We met your messengers on the road. They told us what happened.
And the others?
I get that there's been a breakdown in the relationship in terms of trade and stuff, but does that really require what could come across as borderline hostility towards someone who is still clearly at the very least a friendly?
Just got these back.
Enter the natural successor to Attitude Zeta!
Same. Who are your friends?
We're not friends yet.
Oh, she's so annoying! Like, truly sim-worthy. Like I said, worst character in this show by a long mile.
Rosita's at Hilltop. I sent her out, and she got hurt. And I can't go to help her because I have to be here with you. Because somebody has to stay behind to be responsible for you.
Poor old church dude talks about having to stay there in order to look after Negan, and I, for one, feel bad for the guy. If only there was another person who could bring some food and change a bedpan. Oh, there's a guy.
You just gotta keep moving forward. Life's too short.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Yay! More teenagers doing teenager stuff!
No, we have to help him. I know where he is. I'm gonna take you to him.
Rosita, stop. Okay, whatever's going on, they can handle it.
No, they can't. They have no idea what they're dealing with.
Oh, if only they didn't have to cut to adverts, she might have been able to actually say what's going on.
Come on, ride the lightning. It's last laughs.
Why is he exhausted after jumping into a pit and very easily taking out one walker? Can't be the booze either, he literally had one sip.
What the hell are you doing here? Earning our keep.
Both of them managed to follow Michonne without her being aware of it, and on top of that, it also means that they left Hilltop extremely soon after she did, and since Michonne left by horse, it also means that both of them convinced Hilltop to allow them to borrow horses like hours after they first met them. That is some very trusting Hilltopians and a very unaware Michonne-nian.
Get him out of here. Go, I got this.
Why don't you both go, since the gates are pretty much open and the last bit requires some extra muscle, and there's not been any more walkers for a little while. Nathan Byrne, Bird Without a Word, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Israel Caldera, Chris Harris, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Aura Keeper, Steelers, Kini O, Sentimento, Juffa6263, Master Tank, Kevin Nelta, Brendan Krier, Storm 970, Mr. Waffle 64, Kaj Roselman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Commander, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Adora Blue.